Friends who have joined us, I extend my heartiest welcome to one and all for this wonderful session on entrepreneurship on GIBS IRE Talks. And we have Professor from GISMA University, I would say GISMA Business School from Germany. Dr. Professor Horam has joined us. I extend my heartfelt welcome to you on behalf of all participants. Hearty welcome to you, sir. A quick introduction about GIBS. We are a business school from Bangalore, which is in Karnataka, India. We run two programs with us, Bachelor of Business Management, and we have PGDM program, which is a postgraduate diploma in business management, which is a master's program for 2 years. And we have closer to 800 students with us. And yeah, we have a lot of expansion plans. We're coming up with a good number of courses in the coming years. And I'm very happy to say one flagship program of ours has always been IRE. IRE stands for Innovation, Research, and Entrepreneurship. So this talk today, the reason behind launching this IRE is that a lot of students who come to us, I mean, I'm very happy to say again that, we have a diverse mix of students covering pan-India, all the states, from the north to the south. We have students, who are part of us. They come with the entrepreneurial mind, goal, I would say. The program would help them end to end, starting from idea development to a product creation. We engage them regularly, and we call a lot of entrepreneurs, budding entrepreneurs who will come and share their journey in campus. And at times we have connected a lot of professors from various countries. And today we are so happy to you who have shared their insights on entrepreneurship from a global perspective. So this is about IRE program, and this happens every month, where we invite, a lot of faculties and resources from other countries. At the same time, we engage a lot of sessions in the campus every weekend. So we sit among the students and nurture these leaders of tomorrow. So this is the whole of GIBS and IRE. So I'm so glad. I should especially thank Dr. Peter, who at the end moment was not able to participate, but he was glad enough to connect me to you. I'm so happy that you were able to make it, Dr. Homer, and on behalf of all the GIBS fraternity and the students and participants who have joined here, I once again extend my heartfelt welcome to you, and the floor is yours, open to you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Professor Guru. Quick disclaimer.
Right.
Professor Peter, he emailed me last night, but I was not available to reply. And then Professor Guru, you invited me, sent me the link this morning, and so in a way, I can understand students are excited for a workshop or for an event, and it'll be a shame if no one turns up. So I'm here as a backup plan. I don't have any slides.
That's okay.
In a way, University of Applied Science Business School in Berlin, Germany, and in Berlin and Potsdam. Mm-hmm. And I'm a big fan of, startup, in the sense students. It gives a lot of pleasure and joy to see our students creating something on their own, and which is why I'm here to share some of my thoughts or an experience with your students. I can see there are over 40 plus participants. So hopefully this session would be just Q&A, sharing of thoughts, and to a certain extent, if I can motivate some of your students to go beyond their comfort level and explore ideas that sometimes when we talk about entrepreneurship, based on our experience in our for our students in the campus, it's always, if you look at the students in a classroom a size of 30, you would see most of them will have business idea, but the question is more about who has the guts to explore, or who has the passion to explore and go beyond their comfort zone and explore what is possible for them in terms of the startup ideas they have. So very glad to be here. Um, so let's please feel free to unmute yourself, participants, and ask any question. Before I start, or before I start my Q&A, a little background about myself. I I I came to Berlin in 2010 for my PhD in economics. We were working on. By the way, Professor Guru and everyone, I'm from India. You'll be surprised. I'm from India, from Northeast India. So I came to Berlin for my PhD. We were working on an Indo-German project for designing sustainable cities. So my work package was energy, uh, mainly focused on renewable energy and, in a way, climate finance as well.
Okay.
So that's how I've been in Berlin, and I've started working since then, consulting for technology transfer from Germany to India, and now, uh, along with my own consulting, I have a startup. I've just started a climate finance company just 5 months back, and I love to share that story with your students as well. And I'm currently taking care of the global MBA program in Berlin and Potsdam as director of the program. So that's my background. And in terms of industry consulting, I've been consulting for more than 10 years, but never entered the realm of entrepreneurship or a startup. And it was only last year since I've taken up the initiative to help climate finance in Northeast India. So before I share the ideas that or our startup idea, or the work that my company, the new startup, do, just want to ask the participants. So the title of this webinar is digital entrepreneurship, right?
Yes.
So yeah, participants, what do you think about what is the difference between an entrepreneurship and when we add the word digital to prefix to entrepreneurship, digital entrepreneurship? What do you understand by digital entrepreneurship? Anyone would like to share any thoughts?
Yeah, participants, you can please put your answers in the chat box. I can take it up. Actually, Professor, we take their questions in the chat box, and I take the questions on their behalf. So similarly, if they have any answers, they'll put in the chat box. I'll take it on behalf of them.
Good. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And if you have any experience, please share your thoughts in terms of if you have any experience in startup, or if you are interested, or if you are working with some startup idea at the moment. Yeah. So just share your thoughts in the chat. So in a way, just to give you a brief overview, I haven't prepared this speech, so I'll just play along, as thoughts come by. So when we talk about digital entrepreneurship, if we go back years when we were talking about globalization, if you remember Thomas L. Friedman, he was the one who wrote on The World is Flat. The older generations, some of you might have read the book. he was talking about the level playing field in terms of opportunities and possibilities and competition in the global marketplace. The world is flat already because and he was taking entrepreneurs, IITs and IIMs. Um, if you have a idea that is worth and that has value in the market, you being in Bangalore or in Nagaland or in Kerala should not constrain, because the world is so interconnected. And if we look at most of the successful business, or the unicorns, or you look at Fortune 500 companies, you would see most of the business models are based on um, digital technology or digital platform, right? So starting from, if you look at some of the startups that have revolutionized or that have been that have totally changed the way we view the business in the market or the business model. We see all this in service sector like Airbnb, or in the um, mm, in the transportation. You have all these in India as well: Ola car, Blue car, Uber. These are all the power of capitalizing, or the power of mm, mm, digital technology. And you look at uh, many businesses in terms of transformation in the way we do business. The online platform has totally changed, right? So when it comes to mm, converting your ideas into a viable business, of course there are constraints in terms of infrastructure, in terms of finance, in terms of regulation, and in terms of customer awareness or social acceptability when we talk about digital transformation. But these are all part of the challenges in terms of bringing new ideas to the market. And the key, of course, would be Professor Guru. Your students, I assume, are quite aware of business model canvas, and they have taken courses all this business model as well.
Yes, actually, they are in their first years. This is the initial stage for them. So yes, another reason that we try to connect with people like you and many across, we try to strengthen their foundation at the initial stages.
Okay,
So yes,
all right.
I'm sure they're very much aware about the terminologies that you're speaking about.
Okay, all right. And they are bachelor's or master students?
Master students, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
good. All right. Um, so if you have a good idea, if you have your good idea, if you think that your idea can solve a business problem, or if you think that your idea can fill a gap in the market, or there is a space for your idea in terms of the market share, that is that is the that is key to any business model, and uh, key to any startup or successful startup. And the rest of the challenge is about identifying partners, funding agencies, and operationalization of your business. So that might sound a little bit abstract for you guys. If to give you some example, last year in 2024, the Diaspora 2030 program in Germany, the German government was selecting startups from professionals, Indian professionals who are in Germany, diasporas who want to give back to India. And one of the winners of the startup was two young boys from Gujarat. They were master students. And what they did was, simplify the process of patent right filing in India. So patent right filing, normally it takes hours and hours of a corporate lawyer for them to draft. For example, if it takes 20 hours of a corporate lawyer, the Mitul and his friends, what they did was they used AI to draft the patent right filing based on all the guidelines within the guidelines given by the government. And AI easily filled the form for them, and then before their arrival, patent right filing normally requires a lot of hours of the corporate lawyers. Now, the 20 hours that was initially required was reduced to just 5 hours. So AI enabled patent right filing. I think they were able to reduce the cost from 3 lakhs to 50,000 or something that to that extent. So leveraging technology, be it AI, be it a digital platform, there's a huge space. Yeah? And for me as well, as a professor, I've been teaching, I've been consulting, but it was just last year in June, July. My background is in economics and climate finance. So I've been in Germany for more than 14 years now. And wherever I go, south of Germany, north of Germany, when I visit my friends in the village, in the outskirts, I would see that all the forests in Germany, the villagers who own the forest or who owns the tree, they certify the trees. They certify the trees in terms of the carbon that is absorbed by the trees. So this is certification of carbon credit. So trees absorb carbon and convert that into oxygen, right? So within the UN climate change framework, since 2005 and 2015 Paris Climate Agreement, RED Plus project has been recognized to enable industries to finance preservation of trees or to finance climate change. So the story is, in Europe, all the trees, all the carbon that is absorbed by the trees are being certified in terms of the carbon credit that is carbon that is sequestered by the trees. Now, in India, there are few pockets, few projects in India regarding forest carbon credit. So basically, all the forests that we have in India can be certified. The carbon that is sequestered or absorbed by the trees can be certified, and that certificate can be sold in the market, in the carbon credit market. So this has not been in existence on a larger scale. And the current Modi government is trying to bring in, a proper regulation for carbon credit in carbon credit trading in India as well. Hopefully, end of this year or by next year, the central government will come up with a clear policy guideline and regulatory guideline in terms of trading carbon credit. Um, so one of the business ideas that I've been working on, or the startup that me and some of my colleagues have been working on, is on certifying all the trees in Northeast India. Do we have, let me see if I can share my slides. Okay, I don't think I have, oh, share screen. Can I share my screen, Professor Guru?
I think you can.
Yeah. So I will share my screen and it will be just students.
Yeah.
So can you see these slides?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. So this is just an example, everyone can be an entrepreneur. Me as a professor, after having worked for more than 10 years, I finally beat the startup bug, and I've incorporated a private limited company in Northeast India, and the name of our company is Marine Climate Center. So life in our tribal dialect, and what we are trying to do is in India, the carbon credit market is not well established yet. So we are trying to, help in a way, not help, but in a way, it's the first mover advantage in any market, in any startup. When you're thinking about your ideas, there'll be many people with the same idea, but the main challenge is who would be the first movers to take advantage of the ideas, right? So in general, all the trees in the Western world, in Europe, US, uh, the tree owners get benefit from the trees because the trees clean the environment, and the carbon that is absorbed by the tree is being certified. And the certificate, the carbon credit certificate, one carbon credit is 1 ton of CO2 absorbed in a year. So you sell that in the market. The carbon credit market is like any online stock market. You can buy and sell carbon credit, and these carbon credits are bought by companies that want to be sustainable, that are trying to be sustainable, or they are bought by companies that want to reduce their carbon footprint. Yeah. So you see all these, the Tatas, Reliance, Mahindras, uh, Zara's, H&M, all companies, if you look at their website, you would see the sustainable initiative of all these companies. And one of the emerging trend is companies trying to reduce their carbon footprint. So if companies, despite their carbon emission through their factory, if they buy carbon credits from, let's say, from Northeast India, they can claim in their website that they have reduced their carbon footprint, their annual carbon footprint, and and that's how mm, mm, the market works. So we have my partner Phungmayo Horam. He is a social scientist and also an energy scientist as well. What we try to do is be the pioneer in Northeast India, uh, in helping preservation of the environment, and at the same time help in improving the local livelihood. Yeah. So this is a This is a classic example of, global partnership, local and global, right? So the global problem is solved by the locals, who, the tribals or the people who owns the forest, preserving the forest, and the global community. We are networking and partnering with some companies in Europe as well to buy the carbon credit from Northeast India. So there's a partnership between global and local. So partnership for addressing climate change, right? So the project, Red Plus project for indigenous tribal communities in Northeast India, we are starting with registering the project with a capacity of 6 lakhs hectares. First phase is in Manipur, second phase in Nagaland, and the third phase would be in Arunachal Pradesh. The project, the certification of the trees is for 50 years. So what happens is, for example, if you are in a village in Karnataka, right? Let's say village Kundur, yeah, just a hypothetical village. So in Kundur village, if Kundur village has a forest, probably the forest has, let's say, um, the forest is the size of 20 kilometers square, right? 20 kilometers square of forest. And if Kundur villages commit uh, to maintain the forest, then a 20 kilometer square will be around 20 lakhs. The carbon credit that can be generated in a 20 kilometer square will be approximately 20 lakhs rupees per year. So, and depending on the trees and the thickness of the forest, so Kundur village will be getting 20 lakhs every year because of the carbon credit that is generated and revenue that is generated from the sales of the carbon credit. So if Kundur village decides to maintain the forest for the remaining 50 years, then the village will get 10 lakhs every year for the remaining 50 years. And this is when we talk about cities, 10 lakhs uh, might not be much. But if you're talking about, people in the interior village, tribal community, with who are whose livelihood is based on agriculture, subsistent agriculture, it makes a lot of difference. So it also incentivizes them to maintain the forest, and at the same time, prevent logging and cutting off deforestation. And many side benefits are there in preserving a forest in terms of, the springs that are generated, the water supply for the village, the maintaining of the biodiversity, and so on and so forth. Yeah, so revenue sharing is, when you talk about entrepreneurship, if you're looking at the business model, revenue sharing or revenue generation is key part of the question. So revenue sharing is the cost of operation, cost of project implementation, the technical cost is about 30%. 70% of the revenue goes to the forest owners. Now, our project partner is Plan Vivo. They are Plan Vivo. We are certifying the carbon credit under Plan Vivo standards. Our knowledge partner is the Federation of Aviation Industry. We are still in the consultation process with FI. Our technical partner is Infinite Solution, based in Andhra Pradesh. The key office is in Mumbai, but based in Andhra Pradesh. Yeah, and local partner is a local NGO. Tree plantation, within the project, there are additional project activities which are which might be tree plantation, cooking stove distribution, sustainable forest management and ecotourism for and one of the key aspects of the project is, apart from the generation of revenue from the carbon credit, we do also have scope for CSR support from the industry. So, for example, Tata Foundation, Ajim Premji Foundation, they might be interested in helping villages with cooking stove or solar cooker. This is how we are planning to raise additional funds to improve the livelihood of the local villages as well. Yeah, timeline. There is a process of uh, uh, auditing where the project has to be validated and verified by a third party. So this is our timeline. We've started the project in 2024 December. We have almost completed the local stakeholder consultation and the obtaining of the consent from all the villages and drawing the satellite mapping of the forest. So 25.
Professor Horam, I have received a few questions with me. With your permission, can I take it up?
Yes, please.
Yes. You were highlighting on the ecotourism part of it. Now, especially post-COVID, the tourism sector was really very, I would say, badly impacted, right? It's getting to normalcy right now. So what's your opinion on the ecotourisms for especially those economies where the revenue is highly dependent on the tourism? How does the ecotourism fit in here now?
So are we talking about ecotourism from the scale of a country or a state or a village or?
The question was from the country's point of view, yes.
Yeah, it has been badly affected. So countries like Italy or Netherlands, Amsterdam, Spain. So countries and Thailand, for example.
Yes, I mentioned that, Thailand, Vietnam, for that matter.
Yeah, for that matter, yeah.
Yes.
So I have no clear, in-depth information about our East Asian countries, but when we look at the European countries, they are now, you see, the earlier model of tourism was more on the, focus on the global tourism. Now with COVID, post-pandemic, the business model is slowly changing into local tourism, where uh, local activities and uh, uh, local customers are the main target. So yeah, that is a slight change in terms of the customer target, but yeah, as you said, it's slowly picking up. Yeah, and the question is also now, and pandemic has been one of the has also led to a greater focus on sustainable tourism due to the pandemic. Yeah, distance and exposure. Yeah.
How's the scenarios or situations in Germany on the ecotourism front?
So if we look at countries, like Germany, Austria, Sweden, these are not really tourist-focused economy.
Agree.
Because Germany, they are a heavy industry and high skill economy. The Mercedes and the Volkswagen and the BMWs and the Siemens and SAPs. So in that way, you see, even in Germany, you would see the state government doesn't, go an extra mile to, promote tourism. But this is quite different so when I say extra mile in terms of English language is to facilitate uh, international travelers in terms of language. The German government doesn't do much. But if you look at highly tourist economy like the Netherlands or Spain or Portugal, the government has lots of supportive programs, and the industry itself adjusts to the needs of the tourists. But Germany, yeah, not much. But ecotourism, when we talk about ecotourism, it'll be mainly exploring outdoors, and which is why one of the main focus in Northeast India. You see, in Germany, if you have few patches of forest, people wander and take hiking and explore the forest. But if we look at the forest in India, it's a totally different uh, type of forest, and we have not been able to really capitalize on the gift nature has provided. Bangalore as well, and then if you go north of India or northeast of India, these are highly biodiversity hotspots in the world. So yeah, that's it's one of the sectors that have been really not explored.
Now, as you rightly pointed, the countries like Germany, France, you see a lot of industry revolution happening over there.
Mhm.
Talking about the digital entrepreneurship front, how is the technology that has contributed to entrepreneurship journey in Germany? Because you belong to this beautiful country, I think you'll be the right person to answer on this. How is the startup ecosystem there in Germany, especially with the technological front?
You'd be surprised, Professor Guru. You'll
Mhm.
be surprised. Some of
Maybe
the
we would be able to see you better if you could, the share, that's share. I mean, the screen can be stopped, and yeah, yes.
yeah, I think I'm done with the presentation. Yeah,
Mhm.
one of the ministers came to Delhi, and he was so surprised the vegetable vendors in Delhi
Mhm.
and the rickshaw drivers, they were asking for the payment through GPay. You know,
Yes.
so in a way, in Europe, Berlin is known as the
Okay.
startup capital. But in terms of digitalization
Mhm.
of the economy, Germany is still way behind India. Yeah? And this is mainly because uh, one, of course, the government has provided programs, incentives, and platform for digitalization.
Mhm.
But the problem is the public mass. They are they are still apprehensive regarding data privacy,
Okay.
data security, and
Mhm.
they want to do it the traditional way. Germans are in a way very uh, risk averse, very structured in what they do, and they are very precise. So which is why we see a lot of precision machineries coming out of Germany, because they don't want uncertainty, and digitalization is a huge when you leave your data out there in the world, it's mm, it has a lot of risk component in terms of data privacy. So yeah, one, digitalization, India is way above, way beyond. Two, coming back to your question, of course Berlin is definitely the startup capital, and you would see a lot of fintech startups coming out of Berlin. A lot of environmental, sustainable startups. We do have a lot of IT startups as well. Um in a way, when we say startup capital, it provides a good ecosystem in terms of people who have money, people who are able to connect you to the market, and then you have government that are willing to support in terms of funding. So it's a very vibrant uh, mm, ecosystem for people who want to start a business. Yeah.
That's great. How's the shopping experience over there, especially when there is online shopping experience? Because one of my students asked me this question: How can digital entrepreneurs create a very seamless online shopping experience for the customers?
Mm. That depends on the your customers, right? That depends on your customers in terms of are they um, so what I mean by that is, mm, a person shopping in Delhi or in Karnataka, Bangalore, would have different expectation than a person shopping in Berlin, in terms of their privacy, their punctuality. Yeah. So seamless online shopping in general, I suppose it's a matter of good customer care service. So if you're able to uh, provide uh, uh, one, data security; two, security of transaction; three, if you provide the product on time, and
Correct.
if yeah on time, and as these days, online shopping, what is shown online is not the same that arrives at your doorstep. This is one big problem. And the ability to provide after sales service in terms of returning of damaged goods, and so on and so forth. So yeah. mm,
Moment we use this word digital, quite often the next question always comes on the cyber security part of it. Now,
mhm,
India as a whole, is working really very hard to come out of the cyber security issues. Though we have
mhm.
a lot of strengthened law, I would say, and strengthened advanced technologies to battle this, but cyber security is always a challenge in the digital world. So, what is your viewpoint on the cyber security aspects? Maybe you can even highlight the cyber security protocols in Germany as well.
Yeah. um, this is a question of technological advancement, right? The more technology is growing at a very exponential rate,
Right,
and you don't know what future technology will bring in terms of the current technology that we have.
right,
So security challenge will always be there, because uh, with progress in technology, there will be some elements in the society who would like to take advantage of the progress in technology. Yeah.
true.
In terms of cybersecurity here in Europe, they are cybersecurity plus data protection, general personal data protection. It's very strictly monitored and controlled. And for example, if someone applies for a job at GIBS, the CV that is submitted, uh, to secure the CV that is submitted, will be the responsibility of GIBS. If the CV goes out in the world, GIBS can be sued uh, uh, for all these data protection or data disclosure. So, such even at the individual level, companies are very careful about you know uh, securing or maintaining data security.
Great. Yes, just as we hear about digital, as I said about the cybersecurity, the next big question always comes is on the AI, the artificial
Mhm.
intelligence, which is creating its own wave, not only in India, but across the globe. So there's another question by a student. So what, according to you, AI would play a role in this entrepreneurial ecosystem?
Yeah, AI, especially DeepSeek, for example, open access AI. AI has leveled the playing field. AI has leveled the playing field in
Mhm.
terms of big companies that can afford mega budget to compete in the market. for example, let's say Google. AI has leveled the playing field where a small startup in Bangalore can compete with Google because AI is the provides the level playing field in terms of automation of processes, and especially when you have all this open access AI when which can be available for free for a small company. It is a big game changer. And in the future, there's if I am to quote Elon Musk, uh, ability of survival of companies in the future will be dependent on how uh, how the extent to which the company is able to leverage the power of AI. Yeah. So I would say it gives it has it will empower small companies to compete with big companies.
Bigger
Yeah,
ones.
yeah,
Indeed.
bigger ones.
Again, that's end of the day, it's all depending on how you are able to balance the pros and cons. Um, Technology is necessary, no doubt about it. But again, as you rightly said, when there is a upgradation of technology, you tend to have a lot of negatives as well. And how you balance the both, I think defines your success. Well, if you talk India per se, a lot of business entities are small scale business. You will agree. We call it as MSME, medium,
Mhm.
small, micro, right?
Mhm.
Can these companies utilize or integrate technology to compete with the larger ones? Or is there also an opportunity for these smaller ones to expand globally? How is the situation even in Germany for such matters, like especially the companies that are smaller in size?
Yeah, one of the problem in Germany is the SMEs, small and medium enterprise.
Mhm.
The German government has been giving lots of tax rebate and
Okay.
funding for SMEs. Like let's say SME, a particular example would be uh, um, pharmaceutical manufacturer,
Okay.
in Germany, and
Mhm.
a family-run pharmaceutical manufacturing company. This was a case done by one of my students, so I vividly remember this case.
Mhm.
The problem with digitalization of uh, the problem with German economy in terms of its low rate of digitalization is because SMEs are not willing uh, uh, to 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 digitalize their processes. So the case was, the family-run business. Now we are talking about crores of revenue. When we say family-run business, is a
Okay.
huge business, but they have been doing their operation supply chain on paper. They've not been, digitalizing their supply chain. But they were quite happy doing it on paper because it's a family run business for so many generations, and they are quite happy to carry out the same process. But yeah, digitalization at the end of the day will help reduce the cost, will
Very
also
true.
helps you reach a greater market. So
Absolutely.
in terms of um, an Indian startup uh, having the capacity to capture the global market, it's quite possible. And the example that I gave, the forest carbon credit project, it's the application of AI and blockchain technology for certifying forest in Northeast India. So we are certifying trees in, let's say, Nagaland, and then the trees are being bought by companies in Germany, the Mercedes and the Airbus. We're talking with Airbus currently. So a classic example of uh, uh, digital technology enabling or empowering or uh, enabling market uh, sharing or capturing globally. Yeah.
I'm very happy to note that you said the government gives a lot of rebates and tax benefits to the small and medium enterprises, and the same culture is followed in India as well. Is
Mhm.
that the same thing for the startups, the ecosystem in Germany? Like, do they give subsidies and support
Yes,
the
yes,
startups
they do. Yeah,
enterprises as well?
start. Yeah. So you would have in Germany, one of the interesting thing is all the states,
Hmm.
say for example, Brandenburg, Munich, Hamburg, uh, all the states are competing to
Hmm.
attract startups. So they are giving all sorts of incentives, or tax rebate, or to a certain extent, sometimes infrastructure facilities. So it's something like Maharashtra is competing with Karnataka to attract businesses. I think it's the same in India as well, right?
Correct. Absolutely.
And just to uh, pose the question back to you, Professor Guru, in what has what is the key that has made Bangalore as the Silicon Valley of India? Is it Bangalore or Hyderabad or both?
It's Bangalore. It's Bangalore, which is Silicon Valley of India. Yes, you're right.
Yeah. And what has enabled that?
Yeah, I would say multiple reasons for it. One is, of course, the locational advantage that we have, the support from the government that we have, the kind of technology, the kind of education institutes that we have, and which has contributed in nurturing the young business leaders, right?
Hmm.
The ecosystem, the environment is, I would say, so conducive that you can actually uh, probably motivates getting into an entrepreneurial journey, and that's the whole reason
Hmm.
why you could see a lot of startups getting birth every day, every month, every year in Bengaluru.
Hmm. Yeah, it's a good thing to see. I mean, now with the growth in the economy,
Mhm.
we are really seeing this trend of the opposite of brain drain.
See,
People are coming back to India to
absolutely.
capitalize on
Very,
the
very
Indian
few
market.
days back, couple of days back, we had a big event by named Invest Karnataka. Okay,
Uh-huh.
and there were a lot of companies across the world. They were ready to invest closer to 10 lakh crores
Mm,
in Karnataka, of which I think 80% of that was targeting in Bengaluru, wherein they were
mhm,
ready to, kind of invest or ready to fund the new entrepreneurs, the new industries, which can, commence in Bengaluru and some parts of the districts within Karnataka.
yeah, I mean, if you look at the market
Mhm.
in in Europe, in the developed world,
Yeah,
the market is already almost saturated,
correct.
and the real market is in all these developing countries. So India is one of the biggest market. So
Absolutely.
if you see at the interest rate in just an example how the market is saturated. So Deutsche Bank is the biggest bank in Germany, right? Uh,
Right.
the interest rate is a few years back it was 1% interest rate for business loans. So the money is there, but in terms of the opportunity to invest, the global north is seeking investment opportunity in global south, and yeah, hopefully India should be able to capitalize. The people are now looking for alternative to China in terms of manufacturing hub,
Indeed, yes.
and yeah,
I
India
agree.
is
Lot of companies have expressed their interest to come to India, and
yeah,
yes, the environment is quite good to them.
yeah.
I have a last question to you. Talking about the digital entrepreneurship, there's something called as Web 3.0, if you might have heard about it, which is, I would say, the next generation internet, which speaks about latest technologies and building blockchains and all of that, more of a personalized internet, right? How do you think the Web 3.0 would contribute to the changing business landscape?
Ah, Yeah, as I said, I'm a last-minute replacement for Peter. My background is in economics. I'm not a digital guy. I'm not, digital or data science. I'm purely just an economist. But yeah, just in terms of Web 3.0, I don't know. I don't know. What I see would be the future that I see is data will become, uh, there'll be a price on data. So
Agree with
uh,
you.
my digital footprint on the web, my whatever digital footprint, for example, the likes that I uh, click on Facebook or the comments that I make on YouTube,
Yeah,
all this data footprint in the future, that will be the source of my income. Everyone would be have will the market will change, regulation will change, because in the future everything will be automated and human beings will have very few role to play, and the only value that we will create on the web, as you said, as the web becomes or digital platform becomes very encompasses all our life, the only, you know when everything is automated, because it's very cheap to for companies to automate, human beings have less role in the workforce. Our digital footprint online will be the basis on which we will be paid, or we earn our income probably.
I agree to it. Agree to it. I mean, Web 3.0 would also ensure a greater transparency in the business operations. You spoke
Okay.
about, data protection. That is one
Mm-hmm.
thing that's going to happen due to Web 3.0 revolution, I would say, because
Okay.
that's the ultimate
Mm-hmm.
thing any country would, be worried about, the data privacy and data protection and all of that. I think that's going
Mm-hmm.
to change the game. I think we're going to witness this new trend probably a decade down the line, especially country like India. It will take another 5 to 8 years for sure. You
Mm-hmm.
would see all these latest technologies coming into capture and get into the new level of business altogether. Anyways, I think the best part was having you from the country, which has done significantly well in the industrial revolution, I would say. I
Mm-hmm.
happened to visit Germany way back in 2016, and I had visited the plants of BMW and Mercedes over there back then.
Mm-hmm.
And it was indeed, I mean, the kind of technological advancements in the manufacturing sector over there that talks a lot about digital entrepreneurship and the way Germany has been functioning. So yes, I think we are at the fag end of the session. It was such a pleasure. I mean, despite of the short notice because of the unavailability of Dr. Peter at the end, I'm glad that we are able to connect with you, Dr. Horam, and it was indeed pleasure, such a pleasure and honor. On behalf of the GIBS Business School and the entire participants out here, I would extend my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Horam for accepting our invitation at the end moment, even though, and delivering a quite an interactive session with all of us. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Horam. I look forward to many more interactions in the coming days, wherein we can really understand and talk more about your strength, which is sustainable entrepreneurship, and also some part of economics, which is very much required for entrepreneurs to have a great understanding on the economics. So we'll definitely connect you again on that. But at the moment, I would thank all my participants as well for your patience listening. Don't forget to like us and subscribe us in all the social media platforms and GIBS IRE Talks, GIBS Business Schools, and all the social media platforms. You can keep interacting with us. Get in touch with us. Thank you, Dr. Koram. It was such a pleasure. Take my special appreciation to you, and I look forward to interact with you in the coming days as well. Your opening, your closing remarks at the end, you want to add? My final
Oh,
message to all the students.
thank you. It was just an impromptu appearance. Hopefully, the participants have got something that is useful that they can take home. And glad to be here. Thank you.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Horan. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.